Hello world, I'm Wilson, and I'm going to show you how to make easy homemade alcohol with only the ingredients you have in your house. Now you might not have everything, but I bet you'll have most of it. With sugar, this says cane sugar on it, but this is just regular table sugar. Yeast, this is just a baker's yeast, nothing fancy about it, just some plain old simple baker's yeast. Equipment wise, I have a spoon, of a glass, and I have a gallon. Plus, I have water in my sink or in my faucet, but I'll get to that in a minute. So, for this operation that we're doing today, we're going to make what's known as a sugar wine, or a koju, I think it's called. But realistically, all we're going to do is take the sugar, yeast, and mix it with water and make alcohol. Anywhere from 3 to 15% alcohol. So what we're going to start with is 5 cups of sugar, 1 tablespoon of yeast, and 1 gallon of water. Now we're not going to use a full gallon, but if you have a gallon of water, that's plenty. So first, we're going to take a gallon jug, and we're going to fill it halfway with super hot water. And we're going to add 5 cups of sugar into the gallon jug and shake the shit out of it. But before we do that, we're going to take this glass here and put half cup of water. It's warm water, 80 to 100 degree water. We're going to take a tablespoon of this baker's yeast, put it in the water, mix it up. And we're going to take a tablespoon of the sugar, put it in the water, mix it up, put it to the side. And then we'll go ahead and fill this up with hot water, put our sugar in it, shake it up until it dissolves. And I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Put the sugar everywhere. So, I filled my gallon jug about halfway with water. And adding the 5 cups of sugar, obviously, it rose the water because adding something to water is going to make it higher. So the hotter your water is, the faster it's going to dissolve the sugar. If you still got a little sugar in the bottom because you put too much sugar in, that's fine. It's not going to cause any kind of problem at all. If you don't have 5 cups of sugar, that's fine too. You can use 3 cups. You can use even 1 cup. We'll get you some amount of alcohol. But a yeast concoction, if you can see it, has 2 distinct layers, the bottom layer and the foam layer. This is what you want to see. This means my yeast is working overtime. So now when you do this, you pour it inside of your gallon jug. I have a funnel. If you don't have a funnel, it's not a big deal. But it seems to work better if I have a funnel. Get that stuff all in there. Now, you want to make sure your water is cooled down to a relatively cool temperature. Let me grab a thermometer. You don't have to have a thermometer, but if you do, it helps to check. You want to make sure your water temperature is not above 110 degrees, because over 110 degrees will kill your yeast. And if your yeast dies, then you're not going to have much working for you inside of there. Not too bad. I'm about 105. I'm going to call that good. I'd rather be in the 90 range, but 105 is fine. Now if you do that, shake it once, twice, 3 times. Get it good mixed up. Let me take the lid off there for a second. So here's your basic sugar wine. Now you put this in an area in your house where it stays between 70 and 90 degrees. In 2 weeks, you will have alcohol. Now, as the yeast is eating through this sugar and producing the alcohol, it's also going to release CO2. The carbon dioxide is going to need to come out of here. Now, if you don't have an airlock or don't know what an airlock is, Let me grab one real fast. This is a typical airlock. It's got a rubber plug on the bottom that will go right inside my jug. And inside of here, two pieces. Try to move it so you can see these two pieces. One piece sits on top of the other piece. You fill it up with water about halfway. That way the CO2 pushes up, pushes the top piece out, and then the air bubbles down through the water. This helps eliminate bacteria and foreign yeast from getting into your sugar wine or your alcohol. If you don't have an airlock, that's fine. You don't have to have one. You can use a paper towel. I've used a paper towel hundreds of times. If you use a shirt too, just put it over the top of it. I've even just put the top on, turn it just a little bit, just so it still moves but doesn't come off. Like that. You will get CO2 to release. You may blow the top off, but if it does, you're only making sugar wine. You're not making Jack Daniels, nothing. Quality's not going to be amazing. It's not going to be an amazing drink. Let me tell you that right off the bat. Quality of the ingredients, and it very much affects the quality of your alcohol, the amount of your alcohol. So this is going to be perfectly fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to test my alcohol right now, or I'm going to test the specific gravity of my sugar wine. The only reason I'm going to do this is to show you that it actually makes alcohol. I'm going to be using a hydrometer, and let me grab that. So I have a nice graduated cylinder here, and I have a nice hydrometer. It usually comes in a packet similar to this. It's going to have styrofoam on the bottom, styrofoam on top. You're going to put this inside your liquid, and it's going to float, and it's going to give you an alcohol percentage. Now, it's not going to give you an alcohol percentage, it's going to give you a balling. The balling is a number on the side here, and after a week you're going to test it again, and it's going to change. You're going to subtract the first from the second, and the number left is going to give you your alcohol content. Now that's a basic way of doing it. There's much more in-depth way you can do it. It comes with a piece of paper, gives you all the instructions where you factor in the temperature, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But for my job right now, what I'm doing is I'm just showing you that it is going to create alcohol, and when it creates alcohol, that's all we really want. So fill this about halfway full. Set my hydrometer in there, and it's reading right at 30%. So what I'll do is I'll take my marker somewhere in one of my damn pockets. Oh, right. 30% on it. 30%, so that way in a week, when I come back and check it, I'll know what I had originally, and then I can go on from there. Welcome back, or I guess I'm welcome back, because I didn't even miss a beat. So my 30% rubbed off, it didn't matter, I wrote it down anyway. So this is what it looks like when it's done. It's actually been about 10 days. After 7 or 8 days, I pulled my airlock off, and I just put the cap on tight, and every day when I come home, it would be expanded almost to max. I'd just burp it, then I would squeeze all the air out of it and shut it, then I would let it fill up again. After about 7 days I did that, so it's been about 10 days now. So let's check, see where we're at now. Fill this up, really bubbly, like champagne type bubbles. So put this in there. What were we at before? 30%. So now we're at 20%. So 30 minus 20, 10. It's 10% alcohol now, which is not a bad sugar wine. tastes pretty good too. It tastes kind of like champagne. Not amazing, but sugary, bubbly. If you were to cut this with a juice, it would be drinkable. So you got to think that this is 10% alcohol. There's about 10 beers in a gallon. So if you took 10 beers and dumped it into a gallon, it would come out to whatever alcohol in your beer is, 3 to 5%. So this is actually twice as condensed as alcohol. So the same amount of alcohol in this 1 gallon is the same amount of alcohol you get drinking 20 beers. Just a little beer to alcohol ratio right there for you. So if you watch the next video, I'm going to show you how to make a similar type drink using an apple juice. This is pretty much the same, a little less sugar, but it comes out phenomenally. And then I'll also be making videos on how to cut this. Not how to distill it, but how to cut this. How to take this from a 10% turn into a 30% without distillation. So again, subscribe, watch my other videos, and leave comments. Thanks.